Alright, hello everyone, I am Crota coming at you with a second cast of Scars of War. First of all, the replay system is still only in the beta stages. It's not very polished, but I wanted to go ahead and try and cast some Scars of War. I've already gotten some initial feedback saying I need to somehow slow down the gameplay in order to go through everything. So first of all, I'm going to introduce the decks a little bit more. I don't know what the individual deck lists are, but taking a look at it, it is Renner versus Kagulichu. Renner is generally a more control style deck. You can see that there is From the Ashes and Fallen Singularity, two very strong cards that set up generally the end game for this Diamond Blood control type of deck. There are some early troops as well. Oh wow, a little bit of issues there. There you go. There's a Vampire Prince right there. Some early troops as well. Fallen Singularity is the 5-cost artifact that says when you play it, choose a shard. When you play a card of the chosen shard, gain 2 charges. It's normally, or 99.9% of the time, gonna be blood, because it combines so well with Renner's charge power. Essentially, you start stealing your opponent's deck, and as you slowly steal it and steal it, you're still gaining more charges, and eventually you either mill them or are able to pull one of their own win conditions. Kagulichu, on the other hand, is much more of a mid-range deck. It does have some control aspects with a bit of the crypt recursion, and that is something that we will be watching out here as well. Paw of Yazukan, a very strong card, and we'll take a look. The Rune Ear Heiferfont in this instance has been socketed with speed and the ability to gain a permanent resource every single time it attacks. Let's go ahead and get this game started, as we'll see what's going to be happening here. Alright, looks like a Necropolis coin going to be played down, and with that Necropolis coin, nothing is going to really happen. He wanted to play the Necropolis coin first because he doesn't need the resource, he doesn't need to use it, and he wants to see what he draws next. Also, if he draws into a Blood Shard, he can play the Rotcast if his opponent does play a Vampire Prince on turn 2. So what I believe Kagulichu is looking for is that Blood Shard, just so that he can play Rotcast if it is necessary. Gonna go ahead and head back over to Renner now. Renner is gonna go ahead, play down a Necropolis coin since he has nothing to really play yet, and also follows up for the same reason as well. Vampire Prince is a double blood threshold. He wanted to get that down, and if he wants to, he can play down the Well of Retribution, try to get an early Vampire Prince, and see where it goes from there. Following it up, let's see what's going to happen. Most likely it will be, okay, his opponent ended up only just playing the coin, playing the coin and not playing the Cottontail Explorer. It looks as though he wants to rush straight into the Rune Ear Heiferfont. He didn't want to take the chance of actually missing with the Cottontail Explorer and then missing out on that earlier ramp this way. He could also try and place down an Underworld Crusader. I wouldn't recommend that, just because he does want to get, I'm sure he has Zoras Rectory in here. We'll have to see if it is actually in the deck, but generally some sort of way to use the additional resources is necessary if you are running the resource gain gem. Alright, following it up right now, you see 2 for 2. It most likely is going to be the Vampire Prince coming into play, and now with no real way to remove it, we're going to follow it up here. So it is going to be that. We are going to see the Underworld Crusader played out, and this is in response because he doesn't want to attack with the Rune Ear Heiferfont. The Rune Ear Heiferfont most likely would have easily traded with the Vampire Prince. That's not what he wants to see at all, and now we're in a little bit of a stalemate going into turn number 3 for Renner. Renner going to easily strangle that troop there. Going to go ahead and attack with the Vampire Prince. The Vampire Prince is going to end up milling a card, and that's actually a card that Kagulichu doesn't really mind seeing in the crypt. Rajbhog Gang's ability says, while this is in your crypt, sacrifice a troop, put this into your hand. So by putting that there, he's actually going to be able to dig it out a little bit later. Now you see a shard there. Ooh, doing double Cottontail Explorer. Gonna go ahead and mill 2 cards. Now This is actually interesting here. Let's see if I can actually slow it down. Yes, got the pause in. So the Cottontail Explorer, deploy, you reveal the bottom 3 cards of your deck. Put all revealed resources into your hand, put the remaining cards into your crypt. So you now see that there's a lot of cards in the crypt here placed there by the Cottontail Explorer, and that's actually going to work well. And he actually did the same thing again with his charge power. He's just filling up his crypt right now, and then he's going to be able to do a little bit something later with this scrounge ability, being able to use the Paw of Yazukan to destroy a unit, and then maybe being able to even use a Rotten Rancor to bring it back and battle and do some more stuff as well. Let's see what Renner is going to go ahead and do on the flip side. He's just going to go ahead, swing for 2 in the air. It's going to mill a card. It is going to be a Rune Ear Heiferfont. He discards a coins in order to draw an additional card, plays down another Blood Shard here, and now passes his turn. All right, taking a look at what Kagulichu is doing. He plays down a Blood Shard. He does have 4, and now he once again has options. He could place down the, not placing down the Rune Ear a little bit earlier. He may be trying to avoid some sort of removal. We can see that in his opponent's hand there isn't a lot of removal just quite yet, but he is getting closer to playing that From the Ashes. The From the Ashes will destroy all troops in play and then allow him to pick and choose a particular troop from his opponent's crypt, and that troop will most likely end up becoming the Rajbhog Gang. It's going to be interesting to see if Kagulichu expects this and decides to sacrifice a Cottontail Explorer now to get the Rajbhog Gang away. He doesn't have to worry about it just quite yet. He knows that his opponent does not have 6 resources, so he may just wait 1 or 2 more turns. All right, let's see what the follow-up play is here. Attacking with 4 troops here. He gets a permanent resource, gonna swing for 4, plays the Underworld Crusader, who once again is socketed with the Sky Guard and Steadfast Gem. He will be able to block that Vampire Prince. Following it up, let's see what's going to be happening. Oh, key thing to note here, the Underworld Crusader could only be played after the Rune Ear Heiferfont had attacked, and then when another troop enters play under your control, this gets +1/+1. That's why the Underworld Crusader did come into play, and now you see the Rune Ear Heiferfont at 3/3. All right, Vampire Prince going to come in with the attack. You see the block there. There is a definite exchange, and the reason why is he's pretty much telegraphing to his opponent, I have a From the Ashes, and I am definitely gonna be playing it. He wanted that troop in his crypt, perhaps. I perhaps would have suggested actually blocking, but we do see a fallen Singularity brought into play. He did choose that Blood Shard as we now swing things back over to Kagulichu. Kagulichu places down a shard here. He's already sitting at 6. He is going to go ahead and now use that Paw of Yazukan. He scrounged 3 troops from his crypt, and he is now going to be destroying that fallen Singularity. He's going to be swinging back much more, well, very, very strongly here, dealing 10 damage back on the backswing, and his opponent is now sitting at 16. All right, if there's any other play besides From the Ashes, I would be absolutely confused. He needs to wipe the board. There's From the Ashes. He's going to destroy all the troops and now select 1 troop from his opponent, which is going to be the Rajbhog Gang. Now, the interesting thing here is you saw him use, I believe it was a coin. Yeah, so the coin buried the top 2 cards of the deck, and then he drew a card. We'll see what the follow-up play is going to be here. He does have Balthazar. He does have a Rotten Rancor, so he could play the Exarch of the Egg here. And now, what is this follow-up play as the Rajbhog Gang? Well, the Rajbhog Gang doesn't have a troop to sacrifice. We're going to see the Wakuna coins be used. Now he places down a Diamond Shard. He's going to be able to Rotpaw cast, remove the Exarch of the Egg, Rotcast, not Rotpaw cast, or Rajbhog Gang. Destroy target opposing troop at quick speed with cost 3 or less. That is going to go ahead and head over to the crypt there, swinging in for 6. Kagulichu is now sitting at 5. Follow-up play, what is it going to be here? He plays down a shard. He is going to most likely Kagulichu again, gets the Paw of Yazukan back into his hand, and that's actually the perfect card that he needs. He's going to be able to play that, and then he's going to be able to destroy target opposing card twice. So he's going to be able to destroy 2 cards, play the Balthazar. Balthazar is when Balthazar arrives upon the field, he'll find the greatest troops among your band. So this was actually written in poem form. It's a little bit difficult to understand. A gift of health of one troop's defense will yield. So whoever has the highest defense, you gain that much health. And whoever has the largest attack, you will get to draw that many cards. So he's going to be able to draw 4 cards and gain 3 health off of that there. So incoming cards. And now he's going to be forced to discard some cards as well. Has he stabilized? That is the big question. As the Vampire Prince does go down onto the field, you see Renner does not have enough charge power to top deck something, but his opponent is already down to 19 cards. Kagulichu does like to move cards from his draw deck into his crypt. And with Renner, we do have a secondary scenario where Kagulichu might actually deck himself. We are at 18 life, but unfortunately Renner only has 2 cards in hand, and I had forgotten the Fallen Singularity was destroyed by that Paw of Yazukan. Also, we see 2 Rotten Rancors in hand, so the Paw of Yazukan could get destroyed and then brought back. Paw of Yazukan gonna go ahead, come into play. Runir Hierophant coming in as well alongside the Underworld Crusader, and it's gonna be a 3-unit attack for a total of 8 damage, and now it is lethal on the board. Lethal on the board. Blood Favor, he is now pretty much just fishing for something. A Blood Favor allowing you to draw 2 cards, lose 2 health, draw 2 cards and lose 2 health. He ends up drawing into from the ashes, as we see right here, and I believe that, oh wait, no, he does not have enough resources to play it, so that's going to be the issue. Vampire Princess could be played instead. We'll see what's going to be. Oh, no, he does have it. There you go. From the ashes, once again played. Underworld Crusader is destroyed. Oh, and now we have a Spell Shield troop on the other side of the field. That was something that was placed in the crypt earlier, and this is important. There is no way to really destroy this. You can't Rotten Rancor to grab that troop back, as we're now going to be placing down a Diamond Shard. He's going to go ahead and grab just another Blood Shard. A little bit of a miss right there, unfortunately, as his opponent takes that and swings for 7 damage for the win. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know if me pausing the video actually helps in terms of overall gameplay. This is not normal game speed. Normal game speed, the player is actually trying to make the decisions, trying to go down different lines of thought, thinking which way is particularly better. One instance was the Cottontail Explorers versus the Runir Hierophants early. Would those additional resources have been able to help? Would it have been able to ramp? Was he afraid of hero falls coming in from his opponent? I don't believe we actually saw a hero fall come out from Renner, and I don't know if that's more of a situation where some of the 4 ofs got removed down to 3 of and 2 of, and the hero falls just didn't have as much of an impact. I don't even know if that was game 1, 2, or 3 in a best of 3 series, but I do believe that game was from the latter. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave comments as I try and brush up on my hex casting skills.